Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today we're working on a really cute and quick watermelon ornament. And you can use this year round as an act of solidarity and love, or just use it for if you want to use it even on your Christmas tree, which is really cute. And the way we do it is in a half circle. So we don't actually do a round circle and then fold it in half. I think that it looks better if you have, these halves. And so you're actually making two of these and then stitching them together. I'll show you how to do that. So for this very quick tutorial, you just need some red yarn, a little bit of white, just scraps if you have scraps of black, the green of your choice, a little sewing needle, yarn needle that you can weave in your ends, scissors, and depending on your yarn, for this I used Egyptian cotton and a 3.5mm hook, but you can use whatever if you want to make these bigger or smaller, and then just use the appropriate hook size. Can you see that? It's a 3.5. So yeah, that's all you need for this project. Oh, and if you want, since it's kind of like it's sewn together, if you want to make it puffy and make it kind of like a mini little pillow or something, you will need a little bit of stuffing just to stuff it in before you stitch it together. And if you're, very clever and savvy and you want to make this into a little change purse, just add, instead of stitching this part together, you can add a zipper. And I can probably show you that in another tutorial. But if you are a crochet genius, which I know you all are, you can manage that on your own. So let's get to it right now. So what you're going to need is your red first, and we're starting, so it's actually starting right here, and we're going to work our way out. So to do that, you're going to need to know how to do a magic ring. So wrap your yarn around if you're new to this, just like that. Kind of pinch it together. Oh, excuse my disgusting looking nails again. I have been dyeing yarn like usual. One day I'll have really nice nails for you, but not today. So just ignore and look past or judge my nails, whatever. It's up to you. And also, if you like these tutorials, make sure to give them a like and a subscribe, and or not, whatever is up to you. But yeah, that's always useful, and I always forget to say that, so I'm saying it right now. Okay, so magic circle, wrap your yarn around, pinch it, and then stick your hook through, pull up a loop, and you can kind of slip your hands out, grab your yarn over, and sort of lock it into place, just like that. So we are going to chain 2, and this does not count as a stitch, but you're going to do 6 double crochets into the magic ring. So that's yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through again. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now don't pull your loop tight yet. What we're going to do is we're going to start, this is the first row, we're going to jump to the second row first. So chain 3, turn your work, and then you're going to do, if you know how to do rounds, you're going to increase the same way. So basically we're going to double what we have here. So into the first stitch, you're going to do 2 double crochets. Make sure you can see that. And then keep going and doing 2 double crochets in every stitch. So you'll have at the end of this row 12 stitches. So I will pause it, and you can pause, and then I'll meet you when you're done and you have 12. Okay, so after you've done row 2, you'll have 12. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and turn our work. And then we're going to work into that same stitch again. We're going to do 1 double crochet, and then into the next stitch we're going to do 2. And so that's the pattern to go all the way to the other end of the arch that we're making. So at the end of this row you'll have 18. So we do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then into the next stitch 2. So just continue that pattern all the way till the end until you have 18 stitches, and then I'll meet you back to start the next row. So we're back. We are done row 3. Now you can pull your, if you want to pull your little arch, or the little hole gap you have here in your string, if you want to pull that tight just to close that up, and you'll see that your little half moon watermelon is shaping up nicely. You will have ended on 2 double crochets as well. So for row 4, just turn your work, chain 3. Again, that doesn't count as a stitch. So into the same stitch here, you do 1 double crochet, and then into the next stitch you do 1 double crochet, and into the next stitch you do 2 double crochets. So that is the pattern. It's 1 1 2 1 1 2 all the way to the other end, and that will give you 24 stitches. So I will leave you to that and not distract you with my talking. 1 1 2, and I'll meet you when you're done row 4. Okay, this is what we've got so far. It's row 4 done. On to row 5. So we just chain 3 again, and then turn our work, and then into the same stitch again we are doing 1 double crochet. So this is row 5, and then into the next stitch 1 double crochet, into the next stitch 1 double crochet, and then into the next stitch 2 double crochets. So the pattern is just increased by 1. So at the end of this row you'll have 30 stitches. So it's 1 1 1 2. So I will leave you to that to do your double crochets, 30 stitches at the very end, and I'll meet you back when you've got all 30. Okay, so now you know the first 5 rows are in your red color, and now we are going to switch to our the little rind part of the watermelon, so that's white. So to do that, you can you can switch your colors however you normally do, and if you don't know how, then you just make a slip knot with your white, just like that. And before we attach the slip knot from the white, you're going to go back into the last stitch that you did. So you would have had 2 stitches here. So I want you to undo one of them. So you're actually going to have 29 here. And then you're going to half finish one. So basically start doing your last double crochet, pull your yarn through, just like that. So instead of completing this double crochet, this 30th one, where you usually yarn over, you're going to add your white. So that's going to act like your yarn over. And might be a little bit finicky, but you'll get it. So then you'll have 3 loops on there. One will be white. So you just pull through all 3. So the white is on there, and then you can pull your red tight, and it will seem like it's not going to work, but it will. You can always tighten it after you start getting a few more stitches in, so don't worry about it being a little bit loose. So chain 2 this time, not 3, and we are just going to go into the same stitch. Now you can leave the tail here because that will be on the inside of this. You can always hide it, or if you want, you can always weave it in, but we don't need to do that. So go into the same stitch, go into the same stitch, and you're doing a single crochet this time. So not a double, just a single. And do the same thing into the next stitch. And into the next stitch. Same thing, so a single crochet and into the next stitch. So that's 4 single crochets you have. And then into the next stitch, you do 2 single crochets. So that is the pattern. So it's 4 singles and then 2 singles into the same stitch. So 1 1 1 1 2 all the way across until you have 36 stitches, and I'll meet you back at the end of this 6th row. Okay, so we have our 36 stitches. You've got your white rind. Now you can go ahead and cut this and fasten it off because you're done with that. So just cut your yarn, pull that yarn through just like that. And if you haven't cut the red, I didn't tell you to do that, but you definitely should do that so that you can have your work detached. So that's basically what it looks like for now. So what I need you to do is to create another one exactly like this. So before we move on to the next stage, which is basically just putting the seeds on, and then we're going to seal it off and add the loop. So make another one of these, and you can pause the video. I'll put a little pause thing, and you can work away on that and then come back and I'll show you just how to like quickly finish it off. So start with your, remember, so 6, then 12, 18, 24, 30, and then the white will be 36. So go ahead and do it. We'll see you in, I don't know, however long it takes you. There's no rush for this. Hello, welcome back. You should have 2 halves of your watermelon here, and now we're going to move on to the seeds, which is very simple. You'll need about, if you have, you just need, you know, a scrap of black yarn, and I measured this is about 45 centimeters, and I folded it in half so that it's probably about 90, and then just folded it in half to make sure that it's doubled up like this, and that will give you the seeds look a little bit thicker, and they look like seeds actually. So yeah, so once you have your black yarn cut, so while I've been blabbing, hopefully you've been measuring and cut your black yarn. Then you just thread your yarn through your yarn needle, just like this, and then fold it so that, make sure that it's, your needle is in the center of your yarn, or as close to. Just kind of make your black yarn even, and then you're going to knot the end. And so you do that however you usually do. If what I do is I wrap the yarn around my finger, grab it all together, and then just kind of twist it, roll it. So I'll do that again. So you just grab your yarn, just want to make sure that it's in focus for you. So, and then you just kind of roll it like that, and then pull that, and it creates a little knot at the bottom. It doesn't have to be extremely neat because it's all going to be hidden inside. So you're going to put make sure that you have your right sides. There's a right side and a wrong side. The side that looks cleaner. Trying to think of how you would know this if you're a beginner. I don't know. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. The yarn where you cut your yarn on the white rind, the string or where you cut it will be on the left side. So that's how you know that this is the right side and the other side is the wrong side. Okay? So we're going to be working, we're going to put the 2 wrong sides together like that. And then you're going to take your black yarn and your needle and just randomly choose spots. So pull that black yarn through. Don't pull it all the way through. Make sure that it's snug in there. And then you're just going to place the needle somewhere else so that you create a little seed, just like that. So you can do that, and then instead of going back into this side, go into the next side. So turn your work over and pull wherever you ended up off, you can pull your yarn or your needle through. So it's going to connect the 2 that way as well. And then stick it through just the one side here, just like this. You created another seed there, and then you can go through another area on the other side. So just do that as many times as you want for however many seeds you want. I put 4 on each side, but you can just randomly put them wherever you want. And then I'll show you how to just finish that little bit off. And then we're almost done. We're gonna just connect it all together. Okay, so once you have your seeds, if you want to do this a little bit, if you're finding that the black is showing through, remember that if you want, you can always stuff it, but also if you want to do it a little bit neater, you can go through and do the seeds on one side at a time, and then before you cut the black, then go through on the other side and connect it that way. And if that's easier for you, or if you want a different or a sort of a cleaner look to it. Now, just to finish this off, you're going to just go into the middle of your work, and then just kind of shallowly weave your yarn or needle through. Don't go through the front, just through the back here, and pull your yarn through, and that will create little, basically you're kind of tying it in, and then go through the other way 3 or 4 times. So if you do that, and then just like that, and then at the very end here, put your needle through the loop before you tighten it. So do that enough times so that it's sealed and that it won't undo, and then you cut it off. So I'm just doing it kind of halfway just to show you, make sure that you're on the right track. So we're almost there. So now we're going to add, anyways, it should be connected anyways, even if it's quite shallow, a shallow connection right now. So we're almost done. This is our final row. We're going to take our green, and you're going to find your 2 ends of the white that you've done, and into this, I'm just going to grab my hook here. So create a slip knot with your yarn, with the green yarn that you're using, and you're just going to slip it into the front and back of both stitches, just to make sure that it's locked into place. So pull that through just like that, and then seal it into place like that. And then into that same, before I get ahead of myself, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go back into that same spot, but you're just going to work into the front loops. So I'm going to make it so that you can see that. I know the light's kind of shining right there. We go. So see how there's a front and a back loop, and then a front and a back loop? You're going to work into the front loops of the front watermelon piece, and just the back loops of the back piece. So it's just the front ones and the back ones, and that's how you're going to seal it off. But so we're going to start in the first stitch, and it doesn't matter if it's in the front and back for this one. This one is just to make sure that it's in place, so you can do a double crochet into that one. But in all of the rest, you're doing just front and back loops. So into the next stitch, you are going into the front loop and then kind of go over and into the back loop here, and you're going to do your double crochet just like that, and then into the, just keep doing that into the next one. So you do 5 double crochets into the 5 stitches. So that is 4. We need one more. And then into the next stitch, you're doing 2 double crochets into that stitch. So the pattern is basically you're just increasing your arch, and that means doing 5 double crochets and then 2 double crochets into the next stitch, then 5 2 5 2, and you will end up with 42 stitches around. So I'll meet you when you have 42 and you've connected the very last double crochet on the end here. Okay, so this is what our project should look like. You'll have lots of ends, which is fine. We'll hide those. In the final 2 stitches at the end, if it's too difficult to go into just the front and back loops, you can always go through both. I'm telling you this after the fact, and you probably struggled through and were cursing me along the way, but you'll figure it out. You just do whatever is best for you, whatever is easiest. So we're gonna do the little loop here. Now it depends on what you want to do with this. So I made a chain of 32. So just when I finish this final double crochet, I just chained 32, and that gave a nice little loop here. But if you want to make it longer or shorter, it's up to you, depending again on the yarn that you used and the size. So just you can also make these, you can use these as bookmarks. So I just happen to have this laying around, just happen to have that laying around, and yeah, so we can just use these as bookmarks in our reading, and then you can leave the little handle out. So they will function in different ways, however you like, with different books that you have, whatever you're currently reading, who knows, might be relevant. So to get back to this, just add your chain. So again, like I said, I'm going to do 32. And as you're doing this, make sure that you're not doing the chain extra tight. Make it a little bit loose so that you can go back into the stitches quite easily. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So just kind of average if you want. And then once you've got a number of chains that you're happy with, just make sure that your work is not, mine looks a little bit wonky, but it's because I'm working fast. Just go back into your original or your last stitch there and do a slip stitch. So put it through and pull your yarn through just like that. Make sure it gets through everything. And then you're just going to turn your work and then go back into your chain, so you can chain up one if you want, or you don't have to. But then just go back into each chain that you've made and do a single crochet. So you do that all the way around, and that gives you a nice little, a strong little handle. So I'll let you continue along and meet you back when you're done your loop. So once you have your little loop done, you go into the top of your first double crochet and do a slip stitch into that, and that will keep everything sort of in place. Then you can cut your yarn, pull through, and then you can always weave this in just to get rid of it. Just weave it in to the side there. Now we are almost done. If you want at this point to put a little bit of filler in to make it puffy, to hang, you can do that. I'm actually not going to do that because I don't want to, but you can. This is the moment that you do that. So we're just going to reattach our red yarn just to seal it off. So just do a slip knot, and then you're going to, at this point you can, I mean, you'll have a few hanging little strings. You can tuck them in and hide them away, or you can weave them in if you want a cleaner finish. But you're going to go into the where your white connects here, and pull your red through that. So where the rind starts or ends. So just pull your yarn through, and then you can just do a single crochet just like that to seal it into place. And then you're going to go across, so kind of line up your watermelon, and you're going to do 10 single crochets, and then you'll end up in the center where you started. So that center where there's the little circle, that will be your 11th. So it doesn't really matter, you know, where you go. It will line up relatively well. So just do 10 across here until you get to the middle, and then that will be your 11th. So just to show you what I mean, you're just going through and doing single crochets. So that'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that, so that gives you kind of a straight edge there. And then into the middle one, do the 11th, just like that. Then jump over and keep going, and you'll do 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you're going through front and back. Now, if you think that you need 1 or 2 more, you eyeball it and decide what looks best and what is best. But on average, it's about 10 on one side, 1 in the middle or the center, and then 10 more. So that's about it. And then once you've done that, you're going, that's basically sealed off. You're going to cut your red yarn pull it through. So once you've done that, you just weave it in with your, or weave the end in with, or all of the ends in with your needle, and that's it. That is all there is to this little project, and you can use this as different things, just as an ornament or as a bookmark or whatever you want. And yeah, it's just a cute little thing to do, and it's also an act of solidarity. So keep our brothers and sisters in your hearts and minds every time you see this. So we'll see you again next time. This is all for today. Take care of yourselves and others, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.